Ladies and gentlemen, first up, we'll get to hear from Mr. Jean-Paul Servais, Chairman, Financial Services and Markets Authority, Belgium, and Chairman, IOSCO Board. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be a very critical session for all of us, so I'm going to be requesting for everyone's utmost attention, but we'll have all eyes on the screen because we'll have Mr. Jean-Paul Servais joining us with a video message first up, and after that, we'll then move on to the panel discussion. So on that note, let's have the message for all of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm terribly sorry I couldn't be with you in person today due to prior commitment. But I would like to thank the event organizer, Payment Council of India, PCI, the National Payment Corporation of India, NPCI, and the Fintech Convergence Council, FCC, for the kind invitation to speak during this year's Global Fintech Fest. First of all, allow me to say congratulations to everyone involved for having built such a really rich program with expert speakers and panelists among many IOSCO members. And IOSCO members, and you know that IOSCO means the global membership of organizations of financial market supervisors, we have the pleasure to work with more than 130 jurisdictions, and all together with SEBI and all other NCA, we are involved, ladies and gentlemen, in the supervision in various capacity of almost 95% of all the financial markets all around the world. And IOSCO chair, I am therefore delighted to see that our members are at the forefront of the global reflection on this matter. And I have to tell you that when I had the honor of visiting SEBI in March last year, and I am not exaggerating, ladies and gentlemen, frankly speaking, I was deeply impressed by the leadership, staff, and their innovative approach to supervision. And I would like to take this opportunity to commend SEBI, and in particular its chair, Tuhin, Kanta, Pandey, for the really outstanding work they continue to do. Artificial intelligence, and especially generative artificial intelligence, have taken substantial leaps forward in recent years. Both in our private life and our professional life, we have been using artificial intelligence. And of course, the financial sector is no exception. We are seeing a growing implementation of artificial intelligence tools in banking, insurance, and investment management. Yet, a big gap remains between experimentation and full deployment in certain areas, but this is expected, as you know, to change rapidly. Artificial intelligence adoption in finance is no longer marginal. It's gradually transitioning from exploration and pilots to widespread usage. And what had been a slower uptake, especially in more regulated or risky part of finance, is now accelerating in areas like risk compliance, customer experience, internal process automation. The advent of generative artificial intelligence marks a significant step forward in complexity, scale, and risk. And this tool can produce synthetic financial advice, automate content generation, and even simulate human interaction with clients, all in real time. And therefore, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we need to collaborate across borders. Artificial intelligence knows no boundaries. We must strengthen international cooperation to share the best practices, harmonize standards, and address cross-border risk. And one such best practice can be seen in SEBI's use of supervisory technology, SubTech, leveraging advanced data analytics and artificial intelligence to detect potential market misconduct, including insider trading and financial reporting irregularities. Marlene Amstad, chair of FINMA's Board of Directors of Switzerland, who is also speaking in this session, has played a key role in sharing subtech knowledge within IOSCO. Members of the IOSCO have found this exchange very valuable. And as you know, ladies and gentlemen, maybe at the request of the current South African G20 presidency, the FSB, the Financial Stability Board, is preparing a report which examines how financial authorities can monitor artificial intelligence adoption and assess related vulnerabilities. I personally anticipate that as in the FSB 2024 Artificial Intelligence Report, one of the recommendations will be for the FSB and relevant SSB, which means standard setting bodies, IOSCO is one SSB, to further enhance cross-border cooperation, particularly in terms of exchanging information, experiences, and good practices. In my capacity as chair of IOSCO, which is, as I told you some minutes ago, the global standard setter for financial markets, I believe that IOSCO will play a crucial role in this regard. Just because our role at IOSCO is to provide global solution to global risk and issue within our remit, while recognizing that it's up to each jurisdiction to decide on how to implement or be informed by our principle. And as our work is consensus-based, yes, we never vote at IOSCO board, and due to the fact that IOSCO means consensus and the fruit of our collective wisdom, there is a wide buy-in of our members to take into account our work. And with this in mind, IOSCO established a Fintech task force, the well-known FTF, to address the transformational impact of financial technology on capital market and financial system. And given the rapid pace of cross-border technological development, including artificial intelligence, this initiative underscores IOSCO's commitment, again, I would say, to strengthen international cooperation and putting its broadened fintech agenda on a more formalized footing. And under the excellent leadership of the Fintech Task Force Chair, Tuang Lee, who is also speaking, by the way, in this session, and with the strong support of IOSCO General Secretariat, the FTF has provided timely key insight and recommendation on topics including crypto asset and artificial intelligence. But let us be clear, artificial intelligence is not just coming, it's already here. And that's the reason why already 4 years ago, in 2021, IOSCO published our foundational guidance on the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning by market intermediaries and asset managers. And that document focused on governance, accountability, testing and oversight. That's the job of financial market, financial product, rule of conduct supervisor. And as member of IOSCO, we are this type of supervisor. And that's the reason why for us, this principle remains highly relevant. Artificial intelligence is reshaping our world faster than any of us imagine. And it's the next big thing. Across financial market, it's transforming everything. How clients interact, how risks are managed, how compliance is enforced. But let's be clear, it's also creating fresh dangers for retail investors. From artificial intelligence-driven scams to synthetic voices and faces that look too real to question, the stakes are high. And with every breakthrough comes a new challenge. Artificial intelligence power fraud, deepfakes, and the very real threat of hallucination are not just buzzwords. They are the next big regulatory challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Particularly generative artificial intelligence brings forward the need for renewed discussion. And that's precisely why, ladies and gentlemen, IOSCO isn't waiting for the storm. We are moving first. In March, for instance, we released a report tracking how the industry is adapting to artificial intelligence. And we didn't stop there. We immediately launched follow-up work, a practical toolkit to help regulators evaluate artificial intelligence systems, and a deep dive into industry practices on disclosure, reporting, and governance of artificial intelligence use. Ladies and gentlemen, the message is simple. Artificial intelligence will define the future, but it's up to us together to make sure that future is safe, transparent, and fair. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you for your attention.